Is the new Twitter CEO, Linda Yaccarino, a Soros plant? Well, we're going to look at some data and I leave it to you to make your own conclusions. You can tell me by way of comments whether you agree or not agree that Linda Yaccarino is a George Soros plant. Why do we jump to this conclusion, you ask? Well, I'm going to show you some data with which you can make a decision whether there is a George Soros influence, larger than life, I should say, on Twitter. And therefore, Twitter will perhaps go back to its old ways of status quo, which means it will go back to the way it was when the left was reigning supreme. Well, this is the new CEO. She's going to bring her own vision to the company. We don't know what Elon Musk is going to accept or not accept. So let us first take a look at the data as to why I'm asking this question. Here we go. Linda Yaccarino was the person chosen to run Twitter because Elon Musk, in his interview with CNBC and in previous interviews also, had said that he likes to just concentrate on the technology and not worry about the day-to-day running of the company or even the vision. The big problem that he had is once he bought Twitter, the advertisers just stayed away. Well, who was in ad council? I mean, I'm not saying that the ad council, Linda was in ad council when the Twitter decision came down the pipe, but she was at one point of time running ad council, which is the body that basically, spokesperson for all the advertisers. And then she was at NBC Universal, from where Elon Musk picked her up to run Twitter. So that far is all the facts involved. But let us see why this dotting of the lines. I mean, I'm dotting from Linda Yaccarino to George Soros, saying that George Soros may have planted her. Let me show you some data here. So in one of the tweets that he gave 2 days ago, he said that Soros reminds him of Magneto. For those of you who don't know who a Magneto is, he is a morph character. He is one of those mutants, which is supposed to be like a super villain in Marvel comics. I don't see many of these things, but I just looked it up so that I don't look like an absolute idiot saying that I don't know who Magneto is. But this person is supposed to have some superpowers, and he is believed to hate humanity. Also, I think the character, this Magneto, is also Jewish. So that's probably one reason why Elon Musk is drawing the conclusions or, drawing parallels here. So whatever it is, this other parallels that this Magneto is also supposed to have survived the Holocaust may have, have some bearings to his jumping to the conclusion or in arriving at the conclusion that Soros is like Magneto. So this is what he said. Now, before, what happened was, remember I told you when Twitter was acquired by Elon Musk, the 26 activist organizations, including Access Now, that company, Access Now, has a major funding from Soros. All these people wrote to major brands telling them that if Elon Musk is not going to maintain the status quo of Twitter, then they in turn should not put their ads on Twitter. And sure enough, many name brands followed. They just didn't want to do with any kind of a controversy, I guess. So they said, okay, we are not going to place our ads on Twitter. I think even AT&T and some of the big name brands stayed away. But this was in whole or part driven by George Soros. Now, there is also another interesting situation. Linda Yaccarino, when she was part of NBC Universal, was quizzing Elon Musk. This was around the time he had probably acquired or he was about to acquire, about, what his stance was. She was really, really speaking for the ad companies, and it looked like she was really not happy about the way Elon Musk had gone about talking about where he wants to take Twitter. So now imagine the person who was on the opposite side of the spectrum now has to come and work in Twitter and go back and woo the same advertisers that she had contacted before, but saying now, wait a minute, our messaging may be different, our alignment may be different, but I would still like you to come advertise here. For what it is worth, I must tell you a couple of things about Twitter. I think now it is much better than what it was before. The clutterness of the interface is not that much. Some of the really out of the left field kind of tweets are not appearing, at least on my timeline. And there are two tabs. One is following and the other one is for me. The for me, I think, is where Twitter is thinking that since I kind of follow a bunch of people, this news might be of interest to me. So it's like a suggestion box, if you will. So these are what I see now in Twitter. I am a paid subscriber of Twitter, and I'm mixed feelings. I thought I was shadow banned. I still haven't got a tool with which I can go and check what was it that I was shadow banned for, so that I can try and, get that thing off of my back, that monkey off of my back, so I can have a normal growth that others have. Like, for example, my subscribers has been around 30K for the longest time. Only now I see a slight uptick. I think it's now at 33.9 or something like that, but it's going really, really slow. So I don't think that despite becoming a paid subscriber, I have been off of their shadow ban accounts. And I'm still waiting for the tool that Elon Musk promised that said that once you give the handle, it'll tell you on what are all the different reasons for which you are being shadow banned. There are some 5 or 6 different categories. All of them basically do the same thing. They restrict your reach, if you will. So this is where things stand now. So you make the decision whether Linda Yaccarino was a George Soros plan. Also remember, in this decision making, you should also remember that George Soros sold all of his Tesla stock. That happened 2-3 days ago. But Yaccarino, I think, was appointed a little bit before that. So there are some backdoor things going on. Somebody is applying pressure on Elon Musk. And if you remember, Elmer had said that Elon Musk will be squeezed by China also. And now we are seeing that China is having problems with the Teslas and other electric vehicles that were manufactured in China with their electric charging. I think I have a clue on this. I think somewhere along the line, the Chinese rechargeable battery technology, there's something that changed, maybe something that was more expensive to try and replace it with a less expensive item. And I think what is now happening is that the charge is dying or disappearing just like nobody's business. I'll give you an example. This is something that I got recently. It looks like an Apple AirPod, and it very cute. And I thought that, well, that was $200+. That, this phone was just $19. I said, how can I go wrong with that? So I went and bought this. Now, this thing works for the large part, except when the battery says 90%, I have to go and recharge it. It doesn't have anything working after 90. If it goes down below that, it is just like a steep fall. Boom. Completely down. It won't even connect with my Bluetooth controller. So you have to always remember that, like, for example, I use this mainly for my sessions, and it will work for 1 hour or 1.5 hours. That's the maximum power you can expect. So if I'm having back-to-back sessions, I need to scurry back and make sure that between the 2 sessions, I program it, I start charging it so that it will be ready to go when I am starting again on the second program. So these are some of the challenges. I think there is some problem with the charging technology that these guys did. Some material got, swapped out with something that is really not doing its job. So this has now resulted in many electric vehicles in China, including those made by Tesla, being recalled. So we have to wait and see where those things are going to end. But most importantly, there are problems for Elon Musk in China also. Remember, Elmer flagged it first. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for